Joaquin Buckley has been red hot. I mean, first off, he gets the incredible win over Luque. To beat Luque, by the way, that's pretty incredible. Great job. But to be able to finish Luque, or then you could add the added ingredient to be able to dominate Luque for every bit of the fight. And I could just stop you there. You don't have to get a finish. I don't have to add anything else. That's incredible to do because Luque is awesome. Can we agree? Well, Buckley came out the backside of that. There is no fighter to get more interviews and more attention this week than him. He even had an April Fool's Day joke, just for example. Had an interview with Ariel Helwani, just for example. The topic of Weidman and the eye pokes probably won out the media. But that's a topic. For fighters, it's been Buckley. And Buckley most recently went on Ariel's show, and he was a bit standoffish with Ariel. And I couldn't quite tell if they were working. I had to watch it a second time to find out they weren't. They were shooting. Now, that's a vernacular. Working means you're performing for the audience. You're playing. You're not completely sincere in what you're doing. Your goal is to entertain in front of everything else. Okay, great. That's called working. Shooting is where it's completely real. And I wasn't sure which it was because Buckley was coming after Ariel from the standpoint of, hey, I got to be careful with you. I've heard about you and I've seen you. And Ariel, of course, well, bring it on. What exactly are we talking about here? And Buckley goes on to say, you have inside information. You know which way the winds blow, and you will ask us questions that our answer could go against the wind, could hurt our careers, could make us look bad. We could be giving the wrong answer, is what Buckley is saying. Which is, if we had a few more days, we would have caught up and known specifically what the topic was, but you beat us to it and get us to say, now if that sounds complex, all right, I'm sorry, it's the best that I could do, but this is what he said, and I happen to understand what he meant. So Ariel pushed back and said, no, I don't do that. I've been doing this for years. I love the fighters. I love the sport. I love to have a platform and bring you on and let you tell your story. So I had tried to help fighters with this one time. Like Buckley is not wrong, by the way, and neither is Ariel, by the way. They both have an interpretation, but it is very seldom that you're working together. You will have a certain objective and agenda, no matter who or what you are. It doesn't matter if your name's Ariel and you got a show that's on Mondays. It won't matter. Versus Buckley, it won't matter. You will have certain agendas and the other person won't. You guys didn't talk about it ahead of time, and it doesn't have to be the same. And there can be some push and pull. And I was speaking to fighters about this one time, and I told them, you don't know the media anything, including the truth. And when I tell you that, it is not an encouragement to lie. What my encouragement, and the reason I chose those words, is to really illustrate you are not under subpoena. You don't have to be here. You are not under oath. For example, you don't answer questions, you handle questions. Like, there should be nobody that feels that Ariel asked them a question that got me in trouble. All I was doing was answering his question, and I got in trouble. And it's just a mindset. It's a mindset where you come in a little bit looser, that it would not matter what Ariel asked because I'm not here to answer your question. I don't have to answer your question. This is not an interrogation. I'm here to have a conversation. I'm here to handle your question. Use that as a bridge to a topic that serves my agenda. And I bring that to you because I thought that Buckley has been pretty interesting this week. I thought his April Fool's Day joke got over. I know his performance was awesome. I like seeing him on Ariel. I like seeing that push and pull. Once I realized that he actually was uncomfortable, I didn't like it quite as much. But what I don't want is for Buckley to go away, or Buckley to quit doing interviews, or for Buckley to quit maximizing this bounce that he got. He deserves it, and he deserves to be out there. But as far as the gotcha questions, before you hammer that out too far, just make sure you understand it's a conversation. If you ever find yourself in that spot where you are being interrogated, you think you've got to sit here until he's done it. If you ever find yourself just to break out of that, ask him a question. And that's one thing that won't happen in an interrogation, right? When the boys in blue come and sit you down, you don't get to ask questions. You're going to be answering questions. And I just share for you, ask a question. Now all of a sudden, you've turned it into a conversation. And what many, and we'll talk about fighters in this case, but all athletes suffer from this. All athletes believe when they accept an interview that is now incumbent upon them to answer the questions. And the host will conduct it with questions. He'll look down, he'll have a question, he'll look down, he'll have a question, he'll look down, he'll have a question. The fighter needs to understand this. The host, prior to you coming on, will be given a time. You have 90 seconds to talk to this guy. You have 3 minutes to talk to this guy, just so you know. Now, those questions only exist in case that guy doing the interview isn't carrying his weight and talking. The host has somewhere to go until that 90 seconds is filled or that 3 minutes is filled with somebody telling him in his earpiece. We'll have questions written down. Every host, and I do mean every, 100% across the board, doesn't want to do an interview. None of them, zero. They want a conversation. But the person that they have on may not conversate. They may not know that. They might be all right at answering questions, but that's where it ends. That's why you have that list there. And I'm only telling you that if you ever find yourself stuck, or you ever think somebody's taking you down a road, or you ever think that this, all of a sudden, this interview has turned into an interrogation, you can break yourself out of that, and you can snap them and the audience out of it too. Just ask a question. Ask a question. When you're asking and answering questions, now you're having a conversation, and you will not feel trapped, and you will not feel as though you're going to step on a landmine or you've been brought in to be set up. That is the lesson for the day.